Alright, so now I'm going to organize my layers in order to start my comp tree. So the first thing first is here on the top, I will have the sky. So the sky is this layer and the sun as well. Let's add the sun to the sky here. So I will kind of isolate a little bit those two layers. Then I will have the planet, and I could choose to use the planet from the matte painting, but I'd like to use the planet that I created in CG because it's already in CG and it's already animated, so it's gonna be easier, and we did it, right? So better to use it. But I just want to keep that planet here a little bit just to make sure that I will line up my CG planet here on the top of the one of the matte painting. So for doing that, let's create a merge node, and I will merge the A input of my merge node will go to the skyline render of my planet here, and the B input will go on the top of the other planet here. That way we will be able to compare position and adjust it. So I'll hook up my viewer to it. And there is another thing we need to pay attention here. Right here, we are using the file formats that we specified at the beginning of the course, which is 1920 by 842, which is our anamorphic HD format. And here we are using a file which is slightly bigger of 2569 by 1417. But our matte painting has been thought with the same size formats that we are using in Nuke. Whatever is behind those black bars here are extra pixels for us to use if needed when we are going to animate the matte painting. So basically how it has been thought? Well, this part of the matte painting is centered on the frame. So what I could do here is to use a Reformat node, and that Reformat node will directly reformat whatever comes from that matte painting to the right format. But as you can see here, it just scaled down everything as well. So what I like to do is not to resize the image, but only isolate the center of the image. And how can I do that? Well, I can go to here in my Reformat properties and says resize type center yes, but I don't want to resize anything. I just want this to be none. And as you can see, now it selected the center of my frame. So maybe the matte painter did a little mistake, and you can see that we have a little gap here, and here is it fine, so I will just boost up. Okay, so maybe we have a little problem of placement here. So what I can do is to create a transform node here. And I will go slowly and try to adjust this to line up perfectly. Okay, and I will do the same with the Y to line up the matte painting. So yeah, sometimes there is a little bit of errors, so just don't be afraid to readjust things a little bit. Okay, we still need to push the pixels a little bit here. Okay, good, up there it's great, and up there, down there it's good as well. Okay, cool, so we'll revert my gain here. And okay, so this is basically the transform I will need to apply to any of my layers here in order to get the proper format. Another thing I want to do with my reformat here is to preserve the bounding box, because if the matte painter gives us those extra pixels, it's because we may need them. So we don't want to reformat it and kill those extra pixels. We want to keep them in case we need them. And you just want as well to check your transform node to make sure that when you are transferring things, you are not creating any trouble. So you want to uncheck the black outside to make sure that after your reformat, you will keep your overscan. If you want to see your overscan while on the viewer, you can do a right click and select here, show overscan. So it won't show everything. As you can see, the bounding box is going until there. But Nuke will stop to the settings you've been setting in your viewer settings. So, like for example, if you'd like to show more, you can come on the viewer and hit the S key to access the viewer setting. And here you will have overscan here. And if you want to see more, well, you can increase that value. For example, if I put 400, I will see all the overscan here. While Nuke is set to a little bit less, well, because it costs a lot of memory to display and calculate the overscan. So if you don't need to view more overscan than needed, I will recommend you to leave it to 100. And as well, not showing it if you don't need to see it. Okay. I will close my viewer properties for now, and let's go back here to try to see now if our planet is superposing on the right position. And of course, no. Okay, so I will come here to the sphere and I will come adjust the position. Now, let's make sure that we are on the right frame to work on. And here I'd like to be on the last frame, the frame 1100. Because I will use that frame as the reference frame of the position of my painting. Basically, at the last frame of my animation, I want my matte painting to be the way it is coming out of the PSD file. You can choose whatever. Some people will use the middle frame, some people will use the first frame. Here, in this case, I want my last frame to be the reference frame. So let's make sure we are on the last frame. And now I will come to my sphere and we will adjust a little bit its position to try to match a little bit better the matte painting. Okay. And now we'll need to move the earth a little bit. Okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, guys. Eh? Just do your best. Okay, now, okay, I think it's pretty great. Obviously, it's not exactly the same planet. The lighting is a little bit different, but we will be able to adjust that a little bit later if we want. Okay, good. So now I will add the rest of the matte painting on the top of my image, and I will do that in the next video. See you there.